Good morning and welcome. I'm your friend and brother Mubita Nawa. Thank you for joining us. It is a great pleasure and privilege. It's actually not morning, it's good afternoon and welcome. Wherever you're joining us from, I am coming to you live from Lusaka, Zambia. And this is a special broadcast. We are introducing team building sessions, a moment and a time to have a conversation with different people from across the world in terms of helping them to build their teams, in terms of helping them to establish their organizations, in terms of helping them to be amazing and great. I want you to know that our organization, our company, is very committed and dedicated to empowering others, to ensuring that everybody gets equal opportunity as well as gets privileged information in terms of how can they build their teams and organizations very well. May I also quickly hasten that this particular topic was requested from South Africa. Our colleagues in South Africa requested that we talk to them about how to deal with difficult associates or difficult employees and difficult personalities. So if you are a leader and you are working with people, this is your talk today. If you are a follower and you are being led by someone, this is your talk today. If you run a company, this is your talk today. And if you plan on being an independent person, this is also your talk today. What is team building? Team building is an activity that individuals or organizations engage in order for them to be effective and successful in achieving their goals. There is no one who works alone. In Tonga, they say, munwe omweta ujainda. Or in Lozi say, munywana ulimu mwako nikubulayanda. Or in Bemba say, umunwe omota wipaenda. In other words, when you're going to kill a lice, you need 2 fingers if you're going to, or 2 thumbs to kill a lice. So team building is the same. You have to work well with people. And in order for us to work well with people, we have to understand who we are. So tag somebody right now. Let us know where you're joining us from. Kapoa says they are from Copperbelt. Thank you for joining us. Let us know, are you in Uganda? Are you in Zimbabwe? Are you in South Africa? Are you in Zambia? Let us know where you're joining us from. Luca Zulu says, I'm from Solwezi and I'm here. Thank you, Luca. Mark D is saying, looking for a car to use as young or ready to work. Okay, Mark, you need to inbox us for that separately later on. So there are 4 types of people, and I want you to tag someone right now and maybe understand yourself within this structure, general framework of the 4 different types of people. Number 1, there is the people, and I'm going to use daily acronyms or daily examples to explain personality. Natasha says from Kitwe, Madali So from Lusaka. You are all welcome and thank you for joining us. So there are 4 different types of people in life and in society. Number 1, there is a person that I call the Bluetooth kind of person. Who is a Bluetooth kind of person? These are people who connect with you for a season, but not always for a reason. And if there is a reason, it's often for selfish reasons. The Bluetooth kind of person. They'll connect with you for a season, but not always for a very good reason. If there's a reason, it's for selfish motives. So these people will come into your life and they'll say, for example, you're an organization, I want to join you because I believe in your company, blah, 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 blah. When deep down, maybe they're only joining you for obvious reasons, which is that maybe they just want money, or they are bored, or they just want to get something interesting going on in their lives. So I call these Bluetooth people. The challenge with Bluetooth people is the moment you are out of range with them, they disconnect. So if you're a manager, for example, the moment you're not on your desk, these people, they disconnect. They start doing their own things. They usually want a lot of supervision. They usually want a lot of oversight. They want a lot of compliment. They want to be fully charged. They want incentives. So the moment you're out of a certain range with them, they disconnect. The second type of personality or person is what I call the freeze it person. A freeze it is a drink frozen overnight and often cold and very hard. This personality is about people who are cold and hard. They usually take the shape of the previous refrigerator where they were. So you don't know what is going on with them. They are they are not malleable. They are not tutorable, or they easily taught. They are difficult to control. They are very hard and frozen. And the only way to unfreeze these people is to put them in the sun so that the sun can shine upon them, or expose them to heat. But don't expose them to very quick heat, because the plastic that holds them will melt. So I call these the freeze-it people. If you try to eat them, you will try and suck the juice out of them, but because they are so cold, their personality are cold. These people usually get happy on payday. 2 days after payday, usually these people are broke. So they come with a lot of baggage. They are usually very frustrated in very difficult relationship and situations. They can't handle money. They are not very stable emotionally. They are just freeze-its. They are cold. You try and suck them, there is no juice. You hold them, your hand gets cold. You have to move them from one hand to another. You are constantly changing positions for these people. Personality number 3, I call this the marshmallow kind of personality. These people are sweet. They are so beautiful. You suck them, put them in your mouth. Oh, they are wonderful. When they come, they promise you heaven and earth. I'll be showing up for work at 8 in the morning, but usually 7:30, unless there's traffic. I'm dropping off my daughter, or I'm dropping off my husband. But for the most part, I'll be here on time. I'll make it on time. Nothing will stop me. Nothing will block me. They are very sweet people. They are marshmallows. They are nice to taste. But these people, they melt very quickly. They fizzle out quickly. They get demotivated quickly. You go on a field trip with them, you give them an assignment, they'll have morale. But within a very short time, because they are marshmallows, there is nothing in them. There is no backbone in them. These people melt out quickly. So in case you're joining us, we are talking about team building. We are talking about personality types, and we're talking about how to water yourself as you transport the water in your life, the responsibilities of your life. And we've talked about 3 personalities so far: the freeze-its, cold and hard. The Bluetooth one, they like to be charged. They always need a charger. But the moment you're out of range, out of sight, they're out of mind. They always want constant supervision. The third one is the marshmallow ones. Nice to taste, looking good, elegant. They have nice CVs. I'm a recent graduate. I do all kinds of things. I can do what. The moment you hire them, they don't perform, because they were sweet in the mouth, but inside they have no structure. Character-wise, they have no structure. You put them on the fire, you can't, they'll melt, they'll get black, they'll get tainted. They are just the kind of people that are a bit unreliable. The final type of personality, I call this the diamond personality. These ones, they usually look rough. I don't know. Most of you know diamonds from rings. I had the privilege of visiting a diamond mine and a diamond factory somewhere. I won't tell you where. And I saw how diamonds come out from the ground, from the earth. They are literally rough. And if you saw a diamond unpolished, it looks unscathed, it looks unstealth, uncouth, it looks dirty and rough. But it's a diamond. And these are people who, if you're not careful, you can bypass them thinking they have nothing, but they have everything. They are strong. They can cut through glass. They are valuable. They are very stable. Diamonds are known to have sat on the earth for thousands and thousands of years. Diamonds are made out of pressure. Diamonds are made out of water. There's what they call blue diamonds and so on and so forth, colored diamonds. There are those diamonds from the streams. They come in different shapes. And when you work with these people, your company is going to grow. The only thing you need with these people is mentorship. You need to mentor them. You need to train them. You need to organize them. So now let's go into how can you solicit good feedback as a team leader. You have 4 personalities: Bluetooth, Marshmallow, Freeze It, and Diamonds. I don't know which one you are. Comment in the comment section and let us know. By the way, tag someone, share this right now, let someone join us and let them know that we're talking about their personality type. So what can you do therefore now in order to build amazing teams around these personality types? So I want to share with you the SBI model. The SBI model is a leadership tool that, number 1, the acronym S talks about the situation. What situation is my team member in? What is motivating my team member or demotivating my team member? Sigmund Freud, the great psychologist, says people do what they do because they are motivated to do so. Buchanan says motivation is the ability to change one's behavior in order to achieve a goal. So what situation is my marshmallow facing? What situation is my diamond facing? What situation is my freeze it facing? And what situation is my Bluetooth facing? You as a leader, your job is not to wish. Annie says I'm a diamond. Mark says my leader. Good afternoon, Mark. Your job as a leader is not to wish you had diamonds, because diamonds also need work. There are some people who are troubling you right now in your team. It doesn't mean they are bad people. It's just that they are diamonds and they are going through some situations, some entanglement somewhere. And you as a leader, you have to get into the mind of your people. Part of being a leader is not holding a hoop or a whip or a belt or a stick of a mulberry tree and whipping people on their behinds. No. Part of your job as a leader is to bring out the best in your team. You see, most people, the moment they are given leadership positions, the only thing in their mind is, how am I going to get these mama jammers in line? But that's not God's mandate to you. No, God's vision. God's vision and question to you is, how are you going to inspire diamonds to shine bright like diamonds? Marshmallows to remain sweet but have a bit of backbone. Freeze it to melt a little bit so that we can suck a bit of juice and kill some of that attitude. And Bluetooth. How can we use the connectivity of Bluetooth to engage our clients and our personalities? So what is the situation? Under the B of the SBI model, what behavior is this person in my team displaying? Some people are displaying the behavior they are displaying because maybe, 1, internally the organization is not building them. The organization is not providing. Timayo says, I'm a freeze it. Thank you for being honest. Douglas, good afternoon. Could it be that sometimes, we blame employees when we forget that we as leaders are not doing the right thing for the employees? Maybe their salaries are always late. Maybe we have favoritism on the company, nepotism on the company, bias on the company. There is no honest feedback in the company. What are we not doing to ensure that our diamonds, our freeze it, our Bluetooth are all going well in our organizational structure? So what is the behavior? You can say to the diamond, for example, I noticed you interrupted a few people today when you were talking. Why? Because diamonds are rough. They come from a background of tie churches, the TNI. Diamonds can fwemba you. I worked in America for 7.5 years. And one of the things I learned about America is that Americans don't have fear of their bosses. They don't. In America, a junior can confront a boss in his office. In fact, there's a policy in America called open door policy, meaning anyone can walk through that door and tell you how they feel, what they feel, and it's up to you to take it or leave it, but they will tell you what they feel like. And so at first this was very strange to me, because coming from Zambia, where we are not really necessarily allowed to confront our elders or our superiors. In Zambia, we worship sometimes our superiors. We idolize our superiors. But in America, that's not the case. You give feedback to your boss. So there are certain people in your company that will confront you. Not necessarily because they are bad people, but because they are diamonds in the rough and they just need mentorship. They need guidance. And there are certain people who will be sweet to you for no reason at all because they are marshmallows. In fact, another shock I saw in America, ladies and gentlemen, was that Americans are very sweet people. Very friendly, very customer focused. And I was coming from Zambia in those days where women in the 90s were not as vocal as women now in the 20,000s. In the 90s, women were a bit more on the laid-back side. Human rights were there, but they were only really coming up. So when I went to America, these women were absolutely bloody sweet to me. Oh, Christopher, you don't need anything else, Christopher? I was like, this girl wants a relationship. No, she's just a marshmallow. So understand the behavior being displayed is being influenced by the situation of that person. Acronym number I or letter I. What impact does this person have on an organization or in the organization? Look at your team as 5 fingers. Pinky, middle finger, thumb, index finger. Each one of these fingers has a purpose. Each one of these fingers help in forming a fist. The Bible says we are like members of one body, parts of the body of Jesus Christ. And so each one of us is bringing a particular gift to the team. So you have to look at people based on their personality style and how are they going to get their hosepipe wet, because they are still members of the team, not because you like them or you hate them. Let me tell you, as a leader, there are certain people you don't like right now, but they are some of your best workers. And some of you don't like some of your workers, not because they are bad, but because they symbolize something that you don't agree with. And part of leadership is that God is growing your capacity. And that's why our topic today is about how to work with difficult personalities, because some of these difficult personalities are our bosses. Sometimes they are our juniors, and I bet you, God Almighty, I can bet you $1,000, some of these difficult personalities are ourselves. We ourselves are encroached like a cockroach, like a butterfly in a cocoon, and we are hidden, and we are traversed, we are troubled, we are overwhelmed, overcome, overburdened, and we don't know how to reciprocate, how to have mutual reciprocity or whatever it may be. So, SBI model, highly actionable, straightforward, good performance indication of your team will be based on the situation analysis, on the behavior projection, and on the impact. I have one member on my staff. I won't talk about my staff because they follow me live and I don't want them to get into my intelligence of their intelligence. But I want to put it this way. There are certain people in life that don't smile, they don't greet, and they are not courteous. But by God Almighty, they are very effective. And there are other people who are sweet, sweeter than honey, but they are lazy. There are some people who are single, they behave like they are married. There are others who are married, they behave like they are single. So you as a leader have to assess impact. What results does this person bring to the organization? What impact do they have on the organization? It's not about eliminating who threatens me. And by the way, if you are a leader and you are threatened by people, then you are not ready to grow. James says, following you from home in Lumpur City. Is that Kuala Lumpur? Welcome. We welcome those from Kuala Lumpur. Thank you very much. Lloyd says, I'm from John Lengi. Thank you. Annie says, I'm enjoying this. God bless you. So how do you grow your team? You identify the situation. You identify the the behavior, and the impact. Your job now as a leader is, how do I modify their behavior so that you follow 1965 Bruce Tuckman's model of team building and team enhancement. Bruce Tuckman wrote a book in 1965 that talks about leadership, that talks about team development. And Bruce Tuckman says when people, 2 or more people come together, they don't just immediately begin to perform, but they go through the norming process, they adjust their behavior, the storming process, where they now deal with conflicts and differences within the team. Then they go through the forming stages, where they now begin to shape and mellow into something. They go through a metamorphosis where behaviors are adjusting. People are assessing each other. What I call in Nyanja setting, where they are setting each other up. So norming, storming, forming. And when they leave the forming stage, they go to performing stage. And that's where you go, you build your team on performance. Trust me, any great organization didn't just go to performance. Any great organization went from norming, storming, forming, performance. And Bruce Tuckman added a 5th stage, which was called adjourning. Adjournment now is a stage where sometimes you have to eliminate one member of a team, replace them. Maybe you promote one member of the team, you adjust based on behavior displays, and so on and so forth. It's all up to you. What are the things that can bring growth in your team, so that you move from norming and setting, where people are just seated, nobody knows their roles, they are just wondering, what am I supposed to do? They are moved from storming, where they are ever bickering about space, parking space, food, titles, to now where they start to form. They put their guards down, they put their masks down. I want to give you 4 things that you must make sure your team has. Number 1, your team must build trust. How do you build trust? Keep your word, keep your promises, communication. Number 2, your team must respect structures and systems. You cannot have a good team if people don't even know what time work starts. Now I can talk a bit about my staff. 2 weeks ago, I called one of my staff members and I said to her, it's 7:55 and you're not at the office. I have given you a car. You go home with a car. I provide fuel. And it's 7:55. There are customers sitting. I was at the office 7:30. There are customers seated outside. You're not yet at the office. Why was I challenging that employee? Because I was challenging their behavior. I wasn't saying you are such a bad person. I didn't say that. In building teams, never attack individuals, attack behavior. And in attacking behavior, remind the team member of the ideology of the organization, the philosophy of the organization, so that you can move from norming, forming, storming, and enter into performance. So how do you grow, therefore? Number 1, in order for a team to effectively grow, it must have well-defined goals. So let's take grow, the word grow as an acronym. Well-defined goals. You say to the people, our goal is to increase team output by 10% this quarter. That's our goal. I talk to my staff members all the time. Our goal this week is to reduce fuel cost expenditure by 3%. I tell my staff, we made this in gross, we need to make that in net. So your goals must be very specific, very measurable, very attainable, very realistic, very time conscious. R, be a realistic leader. Don't set goals for people that you yourself can't achieve. There are so many leaders who are very unrealistic. There are so many leaders who live in a world where they have unrealistic goals. Let me tell you one thing. If you are going to be a great leader, which I know you are, but we just need you to manifest your greatness. But if you are going to be a great leader, take away titles from your head. The moment you walk in and say, my name is Miss Cameron Deers, and I'm your supervisor. Don't treat me like that, I'm your supervisor. If you're going to do that, they will not respect you. Never demand respect. Respect is not commanded or demanded. Respect is earned. An elephant has never said to a lion, worship me, I'm the elephant. Or a lion has never said to a hyena, I'm the king of the jungle. No. A hyena can tell that's a lion coming by the way the lion is walking, by the way the lion has braided her hair or his hair, by the way the elephant is trunking around trees. So people will know you are a leader by your behavior. So within the term reality, when there's a challenge in the organization, state it. We are currently facing a shortage of fuel, but we're going to sort it out. Be realistic in explanation of the reality. Or, what are the options your workers have? I was on a phone call a few minutes ago with two of my staff. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a hands-on leader. I know a lot about my company. I know a lot. I know how many axes we have, how many drums we have. I know every car, every engine number and chassis number. I know a lot. When I give you something to keep for me, you better keep it. Don't even think to yourself that I'm going to lose my mind over that. No. I will remind you 5 years later and say, where is that thing I gave you? I need it now. That kind of leadership, detail analysis of your people, of your situation, of your organization will inspire and solicit trust from people and will give people options about your leadership and leadership style. So always give people options. So I said to my staff earlier, we have this assignment on Saturday. I spoke to the person I'm assigning that task on Saturday. It's done. Today is Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. I've already told that worker today, Tuesday, what they are doing on Saturday. They had something else planned on Saturday, but because there's a new arrangement, I'm communicating to my members of staff on a Tuesday what they are doing on Saturday. I'm not calling them at Saturday 06 and say, can you now go? No. There is no mungulu in leadership. If you are going to be a good leader, you need to be very organized and you need to respect your workers. Workers plan. Workers want to know, what am I doing tomorrow on at 8 o'clock, at 12 hours, at 13 hours? Let there be a format. Let there be options. Let there be an audit of your own behavior before they can audit their behavior. W, what is the way forward? How do we grow as a company? Always give people the way forward. Never, ever find yourself in a situation where you are stuck in the head. You don't know what to tell people because you yourself as a leader, you are discombobulated, frustrated, disorganized, disoriented. No. A leader must get their stuff together. They must get their act together. That word leader means proactive, arranged, organized, systematic, solution-based, inspiring, motivational, truthful, honest, integrity, transparent, trustworthy. That's what the word leader means. So here are 4 things now that you can create in your team. And this is called the COIN model. So we have dealt with the SBI model. We have dealt with the GROW model, which is a consultative base for drawing feedback from your employees as well as giving feedback to them. So we are using 4 models for these solutions. Our 3rd model is the COIN model. The COIN model emphasizes relationship building alongside feedback. So I'm not leading you because I'm your boss. I'm leading you because you are important on this team. Okay? Let me tell you, if you want people to love you, to respect you, to honor you, to support you, you need to make them feel special. That is part of your job as a leader. You need to make them feel wanted, needed, appreciated, celebrated, so that even when they go wrong and you correct them, they will know that you're correcting them from a side of truth and love, not a side of vengeance and jealousy. So number 1, the COIN model says you need to connect with your employees. Now, me, I don't drink. Look at me. If I drank, what would happen? I already look drunk half the time. I say that in a nice way. I already look consumed by more than intoxicated by greatness, by passion and destiny. I don't drink. I don't smoke. So how do I connect with my staff? Some of you like to go out to nightclubs with your staff. I don't encourage that. Let your juniors have a separate life from your life. You cannot be with your workers in the club, in the church, at work. Look, bro, I spend 8 hours with you, okay? I am already spending 8 bloody beautiful hours of my day with you. I ain't gonna spend no 2 hours with you at the club. I want to be at the club, get down, drop it like it's hot, singing to Nelly, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I want to be in the club singing Chilepule Baby, Chipange Busy, without thinking that it will affect my performance assessment. So it's very important that you connect with your team in another unique way other than social way. We always feel that connectivity is about alcohol. If you only depend on alcohol to connect with people, you're not a very good leader. You are not. You are not. Some people only loosen up on social gatherings. No, you're not a good leader. You're not a good leader. That's why mumafunana na pamanchito social, because mufuna tikazienda kuma club. Ntakugwira mumsana inega. Sindi no kwana. Nikutina. Nikukatemo. You see? So connect with people. How? By establishing rapport. Hi Mary, how are you? How's your mom? You told me that your mom wasn't feeling well last week. How is she doing? Did she have surgery? First of all, Mary will be shocked that you remember that the mother was unwell. Mary will be shocked. So connection is important. Find your own way. I'm not going to tell you. I have my own ways of how I connect with people. One of my staff members called me this morning and said, my mother has just been bashed by a car. She's okay. She has survived. But I need to go out of town urgently to go pick her up. I said, go ahead. And in the next 2 hours, I'll call that employee and ask them, how are you doing? Do you have everything you need? What can I do to help you? One of my employees fell sick yesterday at a site, at a building construction site somewhere. They called me and said, he's very sick. I said, not a problem. What do you need? I sent money immediately. And I'm about to call them now to find out how that employee is. I'm about to send money immediately. So connection comes in different ways. Some of you men especially, let me say, and women, there are some women these days, big mamas, you only connect with people through having relationships with people. That's not the way we are talking about. Anyway, let's hurry up. Number 2, the coin model, observe people. Share observations. You can say, you know what, Timothy, I've observed that you are a very good driver, but you rarely or never wear your seatbelt. Can you tell me why? So I started with a positive observation, and now I'm giving him or her negative or points of improvement. So you cannot be a leader who only observes negativity in people, but never ever salutes or celebrates positivity. Observe the positives of people, and they will give you their soul and their mind. Number 3, discuss personal impact, including negative impact and positive impact. Your coming late today made the shop open late, and 4 customers walked away, and each customer had $1,000, meaning your impact on the organization today is not only $4,000 less, but you have also affected the brand and the image of the organization, which is not what we stand for. Impact. Discuss impact. Never discuss personal issues. Never discuss the size of her breasts or the size of his, you know what. No. Never discuss intimate information that has nothing to do with the team. Now, if they come to work drunk, I may discuss their drunken state. But I won't, and I'll never go into, so how many Castle Light did you drink? Did you leave some for me? You better pay me or else. No. That's not leadership. That is manipulation and corruption. Okay, we are nearly done. So under the coin model, we have talked about connecting, observation, impact, and number 4, agree on the steps of action that you're going to do as a team to change lives. Let me tell you one thing. It is said that people achieve 100% of the goals that they help set. You cannot be setting goals alone as a leader. Let them be a part of the discussion of the goals as well as the achievement process of your organization. Guys, what are we doing next week? No, we were thinking, people always ask, Mubita, how do you manage to run so many companies? This is my secret. I know how to build amazing teams. Teams that allow me to be away from these companies and they still function. Because we are in an environment of professionalism, trust, good faith, teamwork, and honest communication, both to them and them to me. And they set goals. There are some things they do these days. They just tell me, we've done this, we've done this. I said, okay. Why? Because they are now operating within the growth model of the organization. I want to close by talking about the SEDA model, one of my favorite feedback, team building, personality models. For those who are just joining us, we have discussed 4 types of personalities. The Bluetooth personality, the Freeze-It personality, the Marshmallow personality, and the Diamond personality. We want to close with the SEDA model. And under the SEDA model, we're looking at a comprehensive, deep dive view of the complex issues of the organization. Remember Sigmund Freud. People do what they do because they are motivated to do so. When you see negative behavior in your organization, there's a reason. When you see positive behavior in your organization, there is a reason. So your job as a leader, your job is to now apply the SEDA model. We did the SBI model, the growth model, the coin model, and now we are on the final model, which is the SEDA model. SEDA model, therefore, the acronym SEDA is, what's the content? Where and when the behavior occurred. So you could bring it out as an example. You say, while working on the marketing campaign, I noticed your zeal and motivation was absolutely up there. I've never seen you that happy. So using content or context does not always mean negativity. It can also mean positivity. I saw how elated you were when you were greeting customers. Then you begin to place personalities according to their strength. This one is my marshmallow. I can't put her there. There's something Americans do that is absolutely phenomenal. When you go to an American restaurant, almost all Americans eat a lot. And they eat out a lot, both. Americans eat big portions. That's why they are, God bless their lives. But in American restaurants, they have a young lady or a young man at the entrance of the door. The point guard waiter. This person's job is to welcome guests. And let me tell you, in all the restaurants that I ever went to, these people at the door are absolutely cute. Cute, fun, beautiful. Whether they are men or women, they are absolutely gorgeous. Why would they put a cute person at the door? Hello? Some of us, if we are put at that door, customers will go the other way. They put a cute, friendly person at the door because that's their marshmallow. That's their marshmallow. And maybe that girl does not even like washing dishes in the kitchen. But when it comes to welcoming guests, sitting them at their table, they are absolutely wonderful. Example. SEDA model, or E rather. What examples can you show them of good performance? What happened? Or bad or negative performance? D, diagnosis. Go deeper into the eyes and ears and the souls of your people. Don't be a childish leader who just scolds people for no reason, or an immature leader who just gets excited to fire people. Understand their psychology. Action. What needs to change in your organization? Understand what is missing. Sometimes you can give people money. By the way, money is not the greatest motivation. No. Alvin says for attracting customers. Absolutely. Put your marshmallows at the front door and put your diamonds where they need to be, and put your freezits somewhere where they are dealing with code rooms. And put your Bluetooth where we need some entertainment. Each person has a place in society. Each person has a demand in society. It's up to you now to diagnose what is your interpretation of their behavior, their maturity, and what are you going to do to help them progress. Look at it this way, and this is critical. If God was to remove you today from that company, today, and they told you today, appoint someone to take over that company, who would you appoint? And they told you, we'll pay you $1 million if you gave us somebody who will make sure that this company thrives and prospers and does not die or diminish. Would you get your $1 million? Most of you wouldn't, because you have not raised successors in your company. So as a great leader and as a great supervisor, train your people to work without you. Train your people to manage things with little or less supervision. We are nearly done. We are on the SEDA model. And review. How will you follow up? How will you make sure that you are a part of the progress and the continuous assessment of your people? How will you make sure that you are constantly putting feedback? So to my friends in South Africa who requested for this topic, to my friends in Kuala Lumpur, to my friends in Uganda, in Kenya, in Malawi, Elisha says, I'm watching you from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Habari ndugu, Simpamba from Tanzania. You are welcome. To all of you, wherever you are joining us from, we say to you, you are a leader. You are a leader. And John Maxwell, in his book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, says that as a leader, your greatest asset is influence. Your greatest asset is influence. And you need to assess for yourself, what type of influence are you going to put on your team? Who are you raising as a successor? Who are you building as a successor? What are you doing to manipulate positively changes that you need in your organization? Is there such a thing as a perfect team? No. Ask Ronaldo. Ask Messi. Ask Neymar. Ask Vincent Company. Eliodo Magnata says, I'm following you here from Mozambique, in Hambe province, Vilacujo city. Thank you from Mozambique. We have an international audience. Thank you very much. Make sure you share with your friends in Maputo, wherever you may be, in Botswana, Francistown, Congo, wherever you're joining us from. We thank you so much. So, what are you going to do to build great teams? Let me tell you a secret, and it will blow your mind. Your next job hinges around and upon your performance on this job. How you succeed today on this job will determine how you succeed on the next job. And the jobs of your employees or your team members, their success on the next job will be affected by what you are doing for them, with them, and through them on this current job. Some of you watched our live broadcast last week when we called our former employee, Natasha. Natasha worked for us, joined our company 10 years ago, and stayed with us for 4.5 years, meaning we parted about 5.5 years ago. And I called Natasha last week, and Natasha had something to say to me, apart from me who had a lot to say to her. Natasha said, boss, I am where I am because of you. And even where I am today, people are shocked by what I do because of what I learned through you. So that's the biggest challenge God has given you. To raise, to form, to build other leaders. And I'll leave you with this story. In 1997, 96, 97, God introduced me to a leader by the name of Douglas Rose. Douglas Rose was my manager at the time at Barclays, now APSA. I did not like Mr. Rose very much. I did not. I thought he was ugly, not physically, but he was ugly to me and to many others. And I thought he was mean. But I stuck with him, or rather he stuck with me. I never quit. After a year and a half, Mr. Douglas Rose came and greeted me, shook my hand and says, Mubita, I thought you would never make it. But you made it, and look at you now. You are a better person. You come on time. You do your work. Your communication is excellent. And there was a job opening within the bank in 1998. So I started working with him in 1996, 97-ish. 1998 early, 1997 December, there was a job opening, a very exclusive job opening. I was even late to apply for that job. Mr. Douglas Rose recommended me for that job opening. And there were 63 employees within the institution who applied for that job. And Mr. Douglas Rose took my recommendation, and we did our examinations, and I was number 1 out of 63 workers. And I was promoted, and Mr. Rose was never more prouder, if there's such a word. How did I get such a high-paying, better job? It's because I had such a boss like Mr. Douglas Rose, who helped me shape up and become the man that I became. To this day, the lessons of Mr. Douglas Rose almost 30 years ago in my life are still reincarnating in my soul. So, may you be a Natasha to someone. May you be a Douglas Rose to someone. And may you be a Mubita Nawa to someone. Whether they are a marshmallow, a freeze-it, a Bluetooth, or a diamond. There are some places you can't send diamonds. They are too rough and too hard. There are some places you can't send a freeze-it. They are too cold and no juice. There are some places you can't send a marshmallow. They are too sweet. There are some places you can't send a Bluetooth. There is load shedding. If you don't get it, forget it. Thank you for joining us, everybody. This is your friend and brother Mubita Nawa. I want you to know that I'm available to come to your organization and conduct team building, and I will give you a $500 discount or credit towards that training. Instead of paying $1,000, I'll charge you $500 to come and spend an entire day with your company. We can go to Siavonga, we can go to Livingstone, Samfia, or I can come to your lobby. I can be with you, assess your team. We use the Briggs-Myers personality test assessment. We use many different kind of scientific and positive psychology proven structures of personality assessment, and we can help you transition from the norming, the forming, storming, performing, adjournment stages, so that your team can be a Douglas Rose team. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Ensure you share this video with someone. Thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Glens. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Nyambe, for joining us. Mwenya Kapusa Kilo. Mwenya, how are you, my good friend? My good friend Mwenya. Good to see you live. Alvin Himbai, thank you for joining us. You're a great man. Alvin says, thank you, Alvin. You're a great person too. Share this live. Share this broadcast. Tag someone and leave a comment. I look forward to meeting you at your company I'm out. Talk to you next Tuesday for another team building live broadcast at 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.